Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Okay, Gemini, this video is for you. So before I even get started, that is Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, and Gemini Rising. If you feel like what I'm saying in this video does not resonate with you, go on and check out your Moon and or Rising sign, and I do have that listed down in the description box below, okay? Before I get started, I want to talk about the cards that fell out. From the first deck, we had, what was that? The King of Wands. Well, from the Fountain Tarot, we had the King of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and what was the other one? King of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Page of Coin. That's what it was. Sorry, guys. So quickly, that message coming out is telling me that I pick up on the sense of some sort of move being made that you were very passionate about, Gemini, and you guys do this. You are Geminis. You resonate with air energy. You are the twins. So one day it's this way, the next day it's the other way. One day you're with it, the next day you're not. Some sort of decision that was made either recently or over the past year that you were very passionate about, that you were very, strong-minded about. You were like, no, this is it. The Eight of Cups coming up saying like, yeah, your passion wasn't misplaced, but you might have, put all your eggs in one basket, and that's not where they were supposed to go. It is time for you to move on from that situation or from whatever that is, and go on and start creating new foundations. I did get that message from those cards. Then you had the Justice card fall out along with the Four of Cups, and that tells me that some of you Geminis may be in some sort of situation in which you felt like you were having your cups filled, or felt like you were having your things fulfilled, felt like you were doing what you wanted to do and doing what you felt like you needed to be doing. However, it might not have been a long-term thing. It might have only been for a spell. The Justice card comes in with the karmic energy, saying that cycles and things happen and they come and they go. And that those two cards also give me this sense of, not being satisfied with what you thought would satisfy you. Did anything else fall out? Is that it? I think that's it. I don't know. There might have been more, but I think that's all that I can't remember. Okay, so let's go on and get started with your reading, Gemini. You've got the Six of Water coming up in the position of the energy for you for this year. And this is a card that resonates with an energy of being kind to yourself, forgiving yourself for the things that you have done in the past. From the cards that you have coming up here, Gemini, I very much so pick up on something happening last year, some situation coming up last year that you were very, very certain about, but being in a position now to where you feel like you made a mistake in making those decisions, and you might feel a little stuck. Or you might feel a little bad about having to change your mind, or about having to move on or move away from something that you felt so strongly about last year. This card coming up says, Gemini, it is okay. It's okay for you to move away from things that no longer resonate with you. Be kind to yourself, and more so, be smart with yourself, and definitely, like I said, nurture yourself. Be kind to yourself. Do not remain in any kind of situation that is a hindrance to you just because you feel bad. That's not what this card is about. This card says, okay, you have to look at life and say, okay, I may have made some mistakes here. I may have made some mistakes in this past year. I may have done something that now I quote unquote regret. I don't really believe in regret, but maybe something that you look at and you're like, oh, I should not have done that, or I should have done this a little bit differently. This is to say, don't beat yourself up over it, because these things are going to come up during this year. If you're already starting to feel this, Gemini, you're going to start feeling it a little bit more throughout the year, because you're going to be trying to figure out how to get yourself out of it. Don't get the sense that it's something that can easily be moved away from or easily ended. But this card does tell you, hey, you have got to do what you've got to do to return to the place of, or to this stance of resonating with your true self and being in a positive and peaceful space mentally, emotionally, and physically. So throughout this year, Gemini, I do very much so pick up on this energy that you are going to be working very diligently to get yourself out of something that you put yourself into, maybe like a contract, maybe a relationship, possibly like some sort of like family situation. I don't know, something that you really can't get out of easily. And you're going to feel bad about wanting to get out of it, but understand, Gemini, that if it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you, and it is okay. This is going to be a process though. Coming up next, you've got the Judgment card, which does confirm that there was a decision that you made, Gemini, is probably sometime last year, because the Judgment resonates with 20, which breaks down to 2. Last year was an 11-2 year. I'm going to read this Judgment card like this, coming with a little bit of a karmic energy and also coming with the very literal energy. Your judgment was misplaced. Some decision that you made recently, Gemini, some decision that you made based off of something karmic. You took it and ran with it as opposed to taking it for what it actually was. And now you, during this year, might find yourself in a space to where you're like, fuck, why did I do that? Because now I can't get myself out of it. This is a crossing energy. So this really does tell me that some sort of decision you made has caused some sort of obstacle or placed some sort of hindrance on your growth or on your progression. Throughout the year, because this is the Judgment card, my suggestion to you, Gemini, is to, if this is some sort of physical situation, is to do whatever you can to clear out whatever energy needs to be clear out so that you can make moves and get away from that situation. If this is more so like on a higher level, again, figure out what energy needs to be cleared out so that you can progress and grow spiritually and energetically, okay? This is kind of a hard and tough energy to deal with, especially because you guys are air. So this does tell me that for a good portion of the year, you may very much still be resonating in this, why did I do this? I should have known better. This is not where it's at. This is not what I was supposed to be doing. But again, don't beat yourself up, Gemini. Just understand that you just need to do whatever you need to do to move away from whatever that situation is, okay? Coming up in the position of the home base, which we're talking about either, you know, family or your living situation, you've got the Four of Pentacles here, which okay, so y'all, this card can be read one of two ways, but I more so get the energy of the latter with this. So this is a card of control. This is a card of kind of wanting everything to go the way that you want it to go, or being controlled. And this is in the position of the home life. So what I pick up in regards to family or like relationship, this is Pentacles, is that for some of you Geminis, you might be in a position to where you're not free to move about in your space the way that you would like to. You may be in a very controlling relationship, or you may, going back to that Six of Water and that Judgment card, you may be in a position to where you feel like you made a decision that you shouldn't have made because now you're stuck in a relationship that you feel like you can't get out of. On the other hand, this card coming up in the position of like just the physical sense, like your physical dwelling unit. This is a card of having everything together, having, you know, a stable foundation. So it's very interesting that this card is read with such a different energy and aspects to both of those things. But I feel the energy of control coming up when I talk about the family base or the relationship. And then when it comes to the home base, it's like, oh no, everything's good in the physical. The home is paid for. Everything's good. Rent's good. You know, like we like where we live, or I like where I live, but there is a controlling aspect, especially coming behind this Judgment and the Six of Water. So Gemini, for those of you that are in relationships that are controlling, but you're in a position to where you have to stay with them because of some sort of like lease reasons or like financial reasons, figure a way out of that shit, because that's not going to do you any good. Oh, well, looks like you probably will. Yeah, you got the Ace of Pentacles coming up in the position of your career and your finances. This is another Pentacles card, which again is all about the coin. So I like seeing this card come up here, Gemini. This does tell me that as far as your money goes, you are coming into new ways to budget, new ways to make money, and all of these things are going to be very successful and very abundant for you. As far as your career goes, you may have new ideas, or you may have picked, because you guys are Gemini, you may have picked one of your ideas to really buckle down on and really build upon. Whatever it may be, whatever energy you put in is going to return tenfold. It's going to be very successful. It will bring you bread. Reading a little bit into the card before it, the Four of Pentacles, saying that you might be in a controlling situation or in a situation where you feel like you can't do the things that you need to do. You don't have the freedom to do so. This Ace of Pentacles is telling me that you may be moving away from this situation. I mentioned needing to, but the Ace of Pentacles coming up, especially if you find yourself in a position, especially if what's holding you there is money or finances, you may find yourself in a position to make all the money you need to make to get yourself out of this shit, whatever this is, baby, okay? The next card that you guys have coming up is in the position of your love and your romance and your relationships also. And this is the Son of Wands. So there's two things coming here. This is a court card, so I'm going to read this in a couple of ways. For some of you Geminis, you may have, even though I was talking about all this relationship shit, because you are Geminis, we can just like not even worry about that right now. Some of you may have some fiery person. This is the Sun. So it's the Knight of Wands. So this is typically somebody coming in with the message, somebody coming in with this energy. Not necessarily have to be a male character. You guys could be meeting somebody that resonates very, very strongly with this fiery, passionate, you know, strong-willed, action type of energy. So just be very mindful of the people that you meet and the people that you come across, because there could be a Leo, a Sag, or an Aries out there that you meet that's going to be one of your partners this year, or somebody that you have a very strong, romantic, intimate connection with. On the other hand, coming up after these cards, Gemini, especially if you're in a relationship or in a very controlling situation, the Son of Wands is giving me this energy of you breaking away, and you doing it very suddenly. You doing it like having this change of this, having one of your Gemini moments and saying, oh, okay, I'm over this, and literally just moving on and on to the next. This card, I also get this energy of just really feeling like you got the juice, feeling like you want to date, feeling like you want to go out there and explore. This is a fire card. They associate the fire signs with being hoes, so I'm going to spin that. This is a card of, you know, wanting to go out and share your passion and feel passion. So for some of you Geminis, you may be definitely dating and getting mixed up and mingled in with a lot of different passionate relationships with it. It's a fire card, so I don't know that you will be in anything very serious this year, especially if you're single. This could also mean that you're going to take a very sudden move out of your relationship, and this could also mean that somebody with these qualities are coming in for you, Gemini. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, last card that you guys, you know what, yep, last card that you guys have coming up in your spread is in the position of the soul message, the spirit message, what spiritual transformation, higher self transformation is going on for you guys during this year, during 2019. You got clean it up. So this actually confirms what I was saying about making some decision that you kind of regret. Clean it up, Gemini. So your message, something extra for you to take away with you, and something that you do have to do in the physical. And if you look at the numerology on the card, it's a 3 card. It's 21, breaks down to 3. You have got to do what you need to do to bring yourself back into balance. And you've got the 1 here too, which means that you have to figure out what's best for you, clean it up. You made a decision that you didn't really think about. Actually, I'm not going to say that you didn't really think about. You made a decision that you thought about and you were very impulsive with, and instead of really weighing out all of your options, you only weighed out the options that made it look good, and now you're in a position to where you're like, oh fuck, this is not it, this is not for me, this is not what I wanted to do. Clean it up. Get yourself out of it, Gemini. You got to come into something new, and you've got to come in, and you've got to do it. You have got to do it, and you've got to do it right. Because you can definitely very much so find yourself stuck in this cross judgment position, to where this wrong decision just remains a wrong decision, as opposed to a wrong decision that you learned from and moved on from, to where you could tap into the 6 of water. Okay, so for you guys this year, Gemini, it's all about figuring things out and getting yourself and clearing out energies that you don't need in your life anymore. Okay, so with that being said, if you feel like you need a personal reading, go on and book one with me. I've got all that information linked down below. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Happy 2019, and I will see y'all next time.